What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brandon, and today we're going to be talking about is small scale mining worth it, viable, all that kind of thing. I'm going to do a brief overview of what I actually have going on. And before we get started, I want to define what I consider small scale mining, because there's a big difference between small scale mining and then like medium or large scale mining. So if you're mining at a residential location on a residential power rate, I would consider you 90% of the people small scale miners. Like if you're running this on one, two, maybe even three different circuits, I would consider you a small scale miner. I think when you get out of the small scale mining phase, that's when you're talking about, putting in additional like 240 additional circuits just dedicated for mining and going over and above retrofitting what's actually in your house. So, but if you're using what you got in your residential, I think most of y'all fall into this category. If you have one, two, maybe even three or four rigs, you're still a small scale miner in the grand scheme of things, because it gets way bigger than that really fast. So I'm a small scale miner. I have at any given time about 15 to 20 GPUs. I'm always rotating in and out, trying different things. My cat actually just sneaked in here. Hey, baby. But yeah, trying different things out, trying different cards, different algorithms. So I consider myself definitely a small scale miner. I do mine on a residential power rate at about 10 to 11 US cents per kilowatt hour. Yeah, just to get everything out there on the table. Now, currently, right now, I'm gonna show you exactly what I have up and running, and give you guys a real idea of what I have before I tell you if it's actually worthwhile or not. So let me flip the screen over here. Oh, not that one, not that one. There it is. Okay, sorry about that. So right now I have this rig. It's got 5 GPUs in it. Let's take a look at it. It's got a 1080, 1070 Ti, 1066 gig, a 970, and a P10690, all in that rig running. If you come down here, these are on NiceHash, and this rig is averaging 20,800 Satoshis per day per 24 hours. And that's looking at it across the last 24 hours. Now, if I break it up and look at it by weekly or weekly, I'm averaging 20,600 Satoshis. So this is a pretty consistent setup. And in the last 6 hours, 20,992. So what I could do is, to find out if it's worth it for each individual rig, is plug each individual rig into a kilowatt meter, get my watts, figure out what I'm burning in a 24-hour day, and then times that by 30 and put that against my power cost. So, profit versus power. Right now, I already know I'm a little above, but I have some cards like this GTX 970 that's burning way more power than it's actually making. And this P10690, I don't have that optimized correctly. I'm running it on high. So I'm obviously doing things that aren't necessarily great for making profit on a day-to-day schedule. But one thing that I'm going to tell you guys about, and I'm going to play this or harp on this, is I don't mine for today, I mine for the future. So with that being said, I'm not necessarily, I don't want to mine at a loss. Don't confuse that. But I don't mind mining close to a loss or just a slight amount of profit. I do want to make sure that I'm keeping up with everything, obviously, and I don't want it to get out of hand. Why do I have one card at 96? That 1066 gig is melting. Let me put that down to low, and I might need to go check that thing. I don't think the fan's actually running on it. Yeah, so I need to go check that. Anyway, let's continue onwards. I have another rig right here. It's got 4 GPUs in it. 2060 Super, 1660 Ti, 1660 Super, and 1650. I also had a regular 1660 in here, but I pulled that out and I actually have that in a little test rig. It's not currently running at the moment. I was trying out some weird stuff. It didn't end up working. That's a failed video. But I have this rig up and running, and it's averaging out 18,000 Satoshis a day, or about 17,000 over the last week. So pretty consistent there. Have 2 Radeon 7s running, and they're doing 33,000 Satoshis a day, or 20,000 across the last week. I got to get those things up and going a little bit better. I think I have some tweaking I could do on them. And then the last one I currently have running on this is the 2070. And this one is all over the place because this is the computer that I use personally. So you can see sometimes I don't mine on it, sometimes I do. And this is a good example of what somebody would look like if they were mining on a gaming rig. About 50 cents a day per day across the last week every 24 hours. So about $3.50 a week extra. And that's just one graphics card. Like, that's not bad. You can't be upset with that. But my entire setup, everything plugged in, I'm burning right at it was 1970 watts. So if we break out the calculator and do some quick math, I'm going to round it up to 2,000 watts. I am running on 2 different circuits at the moment. And we're going to times that by 24 hours. And then times that by 30 days. And divide it by 1,000. We get 1,440 kilowatts that I'm using for mining. And you times that by 0.10 for 10 cents per kilowatt. And I'm burning $144 a month in electricity for mining. Now in the wintertime, I have the added bonus of the heat, but yes, that's a significant amount of electricity going just to mining. Now what am I actually making? Obviously I don't want to give exact numbers because that's just one of those things that's kind of touchy, and I don't mind doing it, per card, but when you're talking about what exactly somebody makes on their farm, I make a little bit more than this on average every week, and I have no problem saying that. So I am averaging higher than my cost, and actually, if anything, my electricity bill was a little bit lower already, not due to mining, but probably due to not having to run additional amount of I have electric heat. I don't have gas heat here, so electric heat's super expensive. But yeah, so that's one way to look at it. I consider myself still a small scale miner, so even if I was only making $140 a week and a month, I lost my train of thought. I'm spending $140 a month in electricity, and I'm making, at the bare minimum, $140 a month in crypto. It comes out to a wash. It's basically like me trading my energy cost for crypto. And a lot of people are like, why don't you just get rid of all those cards and use that money and invest it, right? Buy the coin instead of mining it. But one thing that I really enjoy is the hardware aspect, buying it, trading cards, selling cards, buying new cards, trying out new cards, all that kind of thing. And you have the added bonus of the riding out the spikes. Obviously right now we're in a down market, but one thing NiceHash does, and also mining other coins directly, you can speculative mine. That's a whole nother video. But NiceHash spikes up, so when there's more demand, you end up making more money. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever mined on NiceHash and you see sometimes it's like one card's making, on average 70 cents a day, and then all of a sudden it's making $2 a day. It's like, what the heck? Well, there was a spike, so people were paying more to get that coin, because you're essentially contracted out hash power. And basically this is a long-winded, I know I get on a long tangent, but this is a long-winded explanation for me saying that yes, it is worth it. I do enjoy it, and it makes a significant amount of money over the long term, in my opinion. So if you look at this is for all my rigs together. Over the last week, it's averaged out to $6.27 a day. We'll do some rough calculator math here. So $6 a day times 30 days, 180 bucks. Boom. So that gives you guys a really good idea of what I'm making a month. I'm profiting around 40 bucks, give or take. So I'm happy with that. I'm making more than what I'd be straight, buying it. Obviously you have the added cost of buying cards, but cards do have a residual value if you wanted to get rid of them. What I do suggest for a lot of people is buying used cards. That way they can get into the market and not take the initial hit off of buying a brand new card. But not everybody trusts used cards, so that's your own thing there. I feel like this video kind of got maybe a little out of hand because I wanted it to be more clear cut, but really the final answer is there's no clear cut option. If you're wanting to try to get rich quick, crypto mining is not going to be the answer. If you're trying to, replace your main income, crypto mining at a residential location is definitely not the answer. But if you want a hobby that you can, dump a little bit of money into, that you could potentially make some money back from, crypto mining is might be a good fit for you. If you enjoy computers, if you enjoy cars, I know a lot of car guys that get into computers because it's very hands-on, and the aspect of like modifying and building and testing and tuning and all that stuff kind of like transcends the car world into the computer world. So a lot of computer guys like cars, and I'm a car guy, and that's kind of what got me into computers, and it just snowballed from there. So yeah, if you came here for like a hard, clear, defined answer, you know what? I guess I'm sorry, guys. I just can't give it to you. But if if you want to give it a chance, the best thing you can do is, I always recommend, start out with one good card, build yourself a system, and then maybe expand from there. The worst thing you can do is jump in and get in over your head. Don't go buying stuff on credit. I see a lot of guys, they'll be like, oh man, I'm just getting started. Next thing you know, I see they've got like 7 rigs, and they have 20 grand dumped into it, and it's all on like a credit card or a line of credit, and they can't make the money fast enough to pay the payments. That's the worst part of it, because if anything, you got to be in crypto for the long haul. So yeah, and yeah, just take your time. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Enjoy it every step of the way. So yeah, I can already tell you this video didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but I feel like there's probably some good advice deep down somewhere in between all my rambling. So I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching the videos and doing all that kind of stuff. Before we get off here, I did want to thank my members of the YouTube channel. These guys are the ones that have joined, and they're part of my Miners Club or my Legends Club. Let me go over there and give them a huge shout out before I get off. If you're interested in joining, there is a join button right down below. It helps out more than you can even imagine. It literally, that's one of the ways, instead of getting ad revenue off of ads, it goes like straight to me. Obviously YouTube takes a cut, Google's got to have their little slice, but it helps out significantly more, even just with a couple members. So Yashnik, Done One Too Many 2, Frankie 2 times, Crypto Mining Tools, Savage Mine, Mr. Lightbulb, Red Panda Mining, Just Mike, and Batman. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate what you do, contributing every month and being a member of my channel. And if you're not a member and you're not subscribed and you didn't like the video, then I guess it wasn't for you. But if you are here, please leave a comment. If you're wanting to look into getting mining and that kind of thing, you can join our Discord. There's a link down below in the description. We have a very active Discord of voice chat and also text chat, guys. If you have any questions, please come in there and ask, because like there's a wealth of knowledge in there, way more than I even can fathom understanding. So thank you guys. Have a good night, and I hope to be back to doing normal live streams in the next day or two. There's been a lot of stuff going on with this. I can't say it. The sickness thing that's happening around the world right now, and it ended up messing up my wedding plan. So we've got a lot of stuff going on, and you know how that goes. So obviously, it's all gonna work out for the best. Everything's gonna be good. Later, guys. Peace out. Have a good night.